everybody. It is me, Everybody's Katoozy, and today we are talking about Citrus, episode 10. Also, sorry if you hear my fan in the background. It's like cold. It's like really hot now. To be honest, I think that I actually hated this part in the manga. I actually thought that I would be excited about this part in the manga, but I really hate this part. There's a guy that I follow that also does reviews, and he like his episode title was that he hated this episode, and then it was before I even watched the episode, and I was like, well, why does he hate it? I watched the episode, and as I'm watching it, I'm just like, I can see why he hated it, but as I was looking through my book, I can see why this episode sucks. Do you want to know why? This episode is one chapter. They made a 20-minute episode of one chapter, and I can see why that sucked. Like, people hate the anime Black Clover, and the reason why they hate it is because, like, literally, they made the first 3 to 4 episodes one chapter. Like, could you just like one chapter as one episode? Like, you could have gone longer, and not much happened. But we got introduced to two new characters this episode, and that was Sarah and Nina. And to be honest, even though that this arc of them like making Yuzu chicken out of trying to go out with May, and then having May go back into her original self from like the first few episodes where she was like sort of like a bitch and sort of just like non-talkative and stuff like that. Uh, I actually like these two characters. I think that they were a pretty good introduction to the story. Sarah's personality and the way that she looks with her sister Nina were pretty cool. There was one part in the episode where you saw when Yuzu met Nina, that Nina was really tall. I knew that she was tall. I thought that she was as tall as Yuzu, but she's like taller than Yuzu. Now I don't know how tall Yuzu is. This episode was pretty much, there was a lot of scenes that didn't happen, like the scenes where Yuzu is with Sarah and they're like going around the festival. In the manga, I think they just went straight to the hotel, and then we got the scene with Yuzu trying to talk to Mei, which is very hard to do. They stretched that out, I think, to like make their like I guess like friendship makes sense, because in the manga they just meet and then they instantly become best friends. So I guess they had to do a little montage to make things work. I guess along with the very starting of the episode was the ending of last episode with Mei going on to Yuzu because Mei loved what Yuzu was like in the couple of episodes where Matsuri was shown in it. I can see why Yuzu would chicken out, because she's like a naive girl. She's kind of like a dumb airhead, so you don't really know what she's thinking. I guess that she didn't want it to go that fast, which is, to be honest, that is what a lot of people want. People don't want things to happen super quickly, and you can see why Mei was doing that. Mei is someone that doesn't really understand people's feelings and how they work, so Mei was just doing what Yuzu wanted, but Yuzu also wasn't communicating with Mei, so things were just a little bit awkward. That's why from volume 5 to volume 7, and I guess a little bit of volume 8, those chapters I think really progress the story. Like Matsuri and Sarah and Nina, all of that stuff is like a road bump in the story, which needed to be there to introduce new characters. But at the same time, if you remove them, I guess the story would be a lot quicker. But then it would make the story a little bit weird, because then it would happen too quickly. I guess like for them being in the story, I like their characters, but at the same time, it's a little bit weird. So I also loved Matsuri's look, her cat look. It was very cute, and it's weird how Matsuri is more like mature than Yuzu. That's mostly because I guess because she's like I don't know, like a scary character. And I guess the episode was just stretched out with them meeting at the train station, going on to their school festival. School field trip. It's weird. I didn't think Nina had like was like there was lots of scenes with Nina's like close up of her breasts, which were really weird. I don't think they showed that in the manga like at all. I might need to just look really quickly, especially the scene where in the last chapter and the starting of this chapter where you see Yuzu touching Mei's breasts. Sometimes they look normal size, sometimes they look bigger than they are, which is weird. Let's go see this. If I was looking at the see, am I getting? Yeah, they just got straight to the place. If I'm pretty sure. Actually, there's a lot of scenes that didn't happen. Wow. As I'm looking through this, there's a lot of scenes that didn't happen. So I guess like with them meeting each other and going through all that, this episode was pretty actually, I guess, pretty just quick. Like, yeah, I guess it was just quick because the ending is just Yuzu confronting Mei, asking Mei why they weren't talking through a month. Was it really a month that they didn't talk to each other? Because that's like a long time. I didn't think that from the ending from Christmas all the way to January they didn't talk at all, and they were like having like troubles. And I guess they both have troubles, but to be honest, like I don't really understand how Yuzu doesn't know what her love is. Like a few chapters ago, she went from like first crush to thinking about family love to net to then like observing that she was going to like this love, but then now it's just going to being confused. But I guess that's May's fault and Yuzu's fault. But I guess that's pretty much what happened this episode. And the ending was it was pretty sad seeing it, but then you can see where the story is going because of Nina seeing what's happening, and apparently Sarah has a crush on May. And I think the next couple episodes are going to be the next two episodes are going to be pretty cool. It's weird that they're going to, I think it's 4 to 5, maybe 6 chapters per volume. So I guess the next episode is going to be the two. There's going to be 3 chapters or maybe 2 chapters, and the last episode is 2 chapters. But if this ever gets a second season, the second season would be a lot better than the first season, especially since there would be a lot more happening and a lot more story and a lot more development for the characters and moments and stuff like that. But this episode was okay. I think the last couple of episodes were a lot better than this episode, especially because they stretched it out and stuff like that. There's lots of scenes where there was not a lot of talking, and yeah, that's pretty much what I thought about this episode. It was okay, and yeah, if you like this review, leave a like. If you disliked it because you didn't like what I was talking about, then leave a dislike. And yeah, see you guys in the next video or next week where the episode might be a little bit better. And yeah, bye.